Good afternoon, everyone. You're watching Campus France Live. Thanks a lot to be there with us. Today, we're going to talk about higher education in France and to discover a new school, a new program, the MSc in Digital Marketing and Data Sciences at Emlyon Business School, to work as a digital marketing professional. And to talk about the school and the program, I'm very pleased to welcome my host of the day. First of all, you, Clément Levallois, hello.
Hi, glad to be here.
You're the program director. We're also with Sava. Hello, Sava.
Hi.
Thanks a lot to be there. You're student ambassador of the program. And we are with Anna ABREU. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. They're here to answer all the questions that you have about Emlyon Business School and about the MSc in Digital Marketing and Data Science. So don't hesitate to ask all of your questions. We're going to answer them on the live and on the chat section. We have people from the school answering all of your questions, so feel free to ask them. Before beginning this little interview, I'm very pleased to show you a trailer to discover the school and to know more about the program. We will be back just after that.
Learn here, accomplish now, through gatherings, discussions, and being enriched by others. Explore here, make now, through projects, experiences, and endeavors unveiling new paths. Evolve here, change now, through new perspectives, engagements, and actions that challenge the rules. Share here, reveal now, through learning, experimentation, and unlocking new vocations. Awaken here, create now, through inspiring generations driving progress in the world. Here and now, Emlyon.
That's a very good video to discover Emlyon Business School. Clément, can you tell us more about Emlyon, the history of the school, and what we can learn there?
Sure. So Emlyon Business School was founded in 1872, so it's a top-ranked business school in France and Europe. It's going to soon celebrate its 150th birthday. The school is generalist. It has a flagship program, which is the Programme Grande École, and also a lot of very interesting and professionalizing master's degrees. One of them being the master's degree in digital marketing and data science. It has several campuses, one in Lyon, obviously, but also one in Paris, where the master's degree is located.
And what are the main goals of the MSc in Digital Marketing and Data Sciences? What do we learn there?
It's a very unique program with the simple goal to train undergrads and graduates that join the program to become marketing technologists. So what we call a marketing technologist is a young professional which is able to be very much at ease in contributing to a business environment, all while being able to navigate the latest techniques and tools and thinking in analytics and data science and artificial intelligence. So this is the unique contribution of the program, these two axes, digital marketing and data science, into one very qualitative program.
And how long does it last?
So it's 18 months in the following, from September of a given year to June of the following year, and then a 6 months period when the students accomplish an internship, all while writing up an end of study thesis. So it's a very dense program.
Anna, you're here with us. Thanks a lot again. Can you introduce yourself in a few words? Tell us where you're from and why you decided to follow this MSc.
Hi, so I'm Brazilian. I've been in France for 6 years, and after a bachelor in applied math, I was hesitant in pursuing further studies in a very technical field or in a more business field. And I found a good balance in this program. So it allowed me to explore the business topics that I hadn't been exposed to previously. And it also allowed me to continue pursuing the technical side. So that's essentially why I chose the master's, because it was one of the few that really offered a good balance between both domains.
And in your case, Sava, can you introduce yourself also and tell us why you decided to follow the MSc?
Well, of course, first of all, hi. I've completed my bachelor's in engineering management in UK, and after completing my bachelor's, I realized that I knew how to run a project, but I had no idea on how to market that project. And after looking through every possible options in every different countries and every different programs, I realized that what emlyon offers is not only about the digital marketing, but also about the data science. That's why I've decided to choose emlyon.
It's important for you, Clément, to mix data science and digital marketing. We think that we can do digital marketing without knowing how to deal with a large data set.
Very good question. In my view, and I think it's not controversial at all, it's obviously impossible to do marketing and digital marketing today without having a grasp, or even better, without knowing how to practice data science. So data science, you can go full steam and become a data engineer, but not even going there. It's so important to have a data literacy, being able to use dashboards, to import and clean data. And the way we chose to integrate that in the training is to do it in a hands-on manner. So yes, it's important, but what is really key is to do it in a hands-on manner so that the students know about marketing and data science, not just through the slides and through a kind of second-hand report, but through practice. I'd just like to add that the two ambassadors who are here with us today come from an engineering or scientific background. I'd like to insist that this is one of the two ways you can join the program. We are, of course, very much equipped and welcoming the students from a business background as well. Sure.
So we're going to talk about the program, and we're going to talk about the different courses that the student can follow. So what are the different classes? We imagine that we have both math, computer science, and also digital marketing, of course. What is the program concretely?
Yeah, we have a lot. The students who are here today with us know it. It's the program is dense and full. We have made the choice to cover many things, but with the target of bringing skills that are directly relevant in a professional perspective. So we are, compared to other programs, we are not that dense on math and stats. The reason is that today you can practice data science and data analytics using many of the tools that actually package all this underlying knowledge in a very straightforward way. So we do cover, in terms of management skills, we do cover digital marketing, obviously, programmatic advertising, which is the way you can automate marketing campaigns, web analytics, content strategy, well, and so on and so forth. But so we never lose the view that we, at the end of the studies, when the students graduate, we really insist that they should have a strategic and managerial capability for digital marketing. We are not trying to, maybe compared to other programs, we are not trying to train our students in becoming very good at this or that tool, like Google Analytics or these kind of things. They can certainly practice that outside of the degree. We prefer to give them a very good and long-lasting background in management, covering the fundamentals of digital marketing and in data science. For data science, so I like to split it into business analytics, which is pretty old actually in terms of roots. So Excel is nothing new, right? SQL or SQL is also maybe 40 years old, but very much mainstream in the companies. Dashboarding and data visualization, so all of that in the realm of business analytics. And last, data science and artificial intelligence. So you see, it's pretty big. Yeah, and we start with the Python bootcamp. Okay. So Python is this programming language, which today I would say is really the leading programming language to manipulate and handle data. And this, as we don't ask to the participants to know any programming language before joining the program.
Okay.
So we do provide these fundamentals from the start at the beginning of the program. And then we go on data science, machine learning, statistics with R, and many others as well.
That's really interesting because nowadays in the data science field, there is maybe two philosophies. The first one is to say we need to form people that can program all the functions by themselves and who have to understand everything and all the math behind that. So you have a function to make clusters in the data visualization. You need to know everything theoretical about clusters. What you say is that you want a more practical approach. You don't want your student to be able to develop everything that already exists.
Absolutely. I mean, there is no ranking of which approach is best. I suppose it really depends on the type of roles you want to play in a company. But we train future graduates to understand the principles of clustering, for example. Or which grammar principles should be followed to construct a proper data visualization. But we don't ask them to dive into the details of the cognitive and neuro aspects of visualization, to take this example. This allows us to cover a large ground for the students. There's also, speaking on the same topic, there is the opposite trend as well, which consists in saying that today all the tools are packaged in such a neat way that you might not even need to code anymore. And still we teach how to code. So how do we position the master's degree in this regard? We still think that it's going to help our graduates to interact with engineers and data scientists if they have a knowledge of Python and the fundamentals of data science in a hands-on perspective. Yet we really understand that the no-code movement is thriving in the last few years. So we do integrate it as well in our program. This year we opened an elective which is about RPA, meaning robotic process automation. And that's a no-code approach to the automation of business processes. So we are very much fine-tuning the content of the program as the scene evolves, and it keeps evolving.
Anna, can you describe maybe how you live and how you learn with this practical approach? Do you have a lot of projects in your classes? Do you have like a lot of group projects, homework? How does it work actually when you're a student at this MSc?
So we're really lucky to actually have in-person classes this semester. So this has been really great in getting to know each other. So all the classes are obviously equipped with projectors. So we can see the screen, like the screens, most of them are interactive as well. So that really helps whenever professors want to show us videos or whenever they want to have more interactive material. They've also been really accommodating in the beginning for students who had issues getting visas, who had to come in a little bit later. So we could watch the classes via Zoom. So there's been a lot of accommodation to the actual context. What I really appreciate and what's been a big change for me is coming from a technical background. A lot of my work was individual, and at emlyon, since most of the projects are very practical and they really are training us to integrate a work environment, a lot of the work that we do are in groups. So that not only allows us to get to know our cohort better, which is great for us because it's an extremely international community. And so that allows us to really know what it's like to work in an international team, which personally I find extremely valuable. And it allows us to, once again, for people who haven't had the opportunity to do this a lot throughout their education, it allows us to really know what it's like to work in a team and to really develop their collaboration skills.
Can you describe one of the projects you had to follow? For instance, what did you do recently as a project for your class? One of the projects you had to do.
So one of the projects that we had to do last semester was to fully develop a product and develop a website for it. That was an interesting project to go through because we got to see the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript side, but also what it's like to kind of investigate a customer segment, customer profile, and kind of understanding the consumer behavior behind it. So that was great. And I'm personally loving a project we're working on right now, which is in machine learning. And we're actually starting to look at a data set and really understanding how machine learning can be applied to a business problem. And so we work in a group to first define the business problem, and then through the courses that we've had in machine learning, understand the best model that could be applied to solve this business problem, and then obviously present it later on.
Sava, maybe what do you particularly appreciate in the program?
What I like the most about the program is the fact that there are lots of students from different countries. If I recall correctly, there were more than 40 countries, and we were like 120 students, more or less. The fact that we are all from different backgrounds, not just culturally, but also from engineering or management or business styles, and getting together and working towards the same goal is what attracts me the most. It's what I appreciate the most in this course.
Having an intercultural experience here at Paris. Clément, maybe, can you describe what main professional skills you want to deliver to your students at the end of the program?
Yeah, that's the most important for us. So I don't neglect, of course, the international diversity and the enrichment that our students get from joining such an international cohort. But speaking of professional skills, we have one very short expression to summarize it. We try to train marketing technologists. So this kind of hybrid profile that is able to join a business team, understanding the customer point of view or just the operations point of view, all while interfacing easily with the data science side. So if I need to translate that into official job positions, many of our students end up joining companies as data analysts, data consultants, marketing analysts, data scientists for the most inclined for the technical side, customer success managers. That's an important role when you help customers basically use your products, and you are typically interfacing between the customer and the back office where all the product and the data complexity lays. So you are at the bridge between these different worlds, and our students are very much equipped to do that. And these skills, they are able to apply them in a variety of industries. I love to share on LinkedIn the wall of logos of the companies that our students join for an internship. And this wall of logos is really diverse. At the center of it, we have the companies from the new economy, so the marketing analytics platforms. Well, I won't name them, but many of those became licorns in the last few years. But around this core, which is obviously an outlet for our students, you have luxury brands, so many companies from cosmetics and luxury and wellness. They need basically to beef up their marketing with analytics, and they need the profiles of our students. And banks and consulting groups and the industry at large, and also the big names of e-commerce. Amazon is one of the top recruiters for our students.
If you're joining us, thanks a lot to be there with us for this afternoon. You're watching Campus France Live, and we're talking about the MSc in Digital Marketing and Data Science at Lyon Business School. We're now going to talk about a very important question. If you're watching us and if you have followed the different questions and the different answers that we have, now we're going to talk about admission, how to join the program. We're going to answer a few questions here in the live, but we're also going to answer some of them on the chat section, thanks to Marie working at Lyon Business School. So don't hesitate if you're watching watching us on live or on replay to look at the chat section, because you will have some answers regarding the admission process. My first question is for you, Clément, and it's really easy. With a program mixing data science and marketing, what background do you require? Do you want scientists or do you want marketing specialists?
We want applicants, young or not. We have many applicants and participants who are in their 30s as well. We want candidates who have a rich and full life experience. This means that, of course, we are very attentive to the quality of the academic background. But what counts is the maturity of the candidate and the diversity of their experience that proves their commitment and the clarity of their career goals. So a background in math can help, but so does a very strong background in management, but even in arts or architecture or medicine.
Okay, so there is plenty of ways to come.
Yes, because again, we are very much geared to the job market. You know, what do you do after graduating from our program? And what we learn and what we believe is that companies are not looking for thousands and thousands of students who would be all the same in having followed exactly the same trajectory in terms of education and just what they did in their younger years. We believe that companies will find a match with students who show a diversity of life trajectories. So we insist a lot in the application phase on international profiles, on personal projects. So if you have an account on GitHub or one of these websites where you can showcase your coding portfolio, that's a big plus for us.
But that's not necessary, because you said earlier that you don't need to know how to code to join the program.
Exactly. So it can, again, we are very much interested in applicants that can showcase their maturity, I can't find a better word, in diverse ways.
In the chat section, Marie is going to answer the following question: the different steps to apply to one of the programs and the calendar of application. So look at the chat section, and if you have more questions about admission and about the process, don't hesitate to ask her on the chat section, even if it's on replay, because the team is looking very precisely to your questions. But maybe, Anna, you can describe a little bit how your application process went. Can you describe the different steps you followed and how it went for you?
Yes. So if I remember correctly, I initially applied on the platform, and then I got an invitation to take an online test, which included 3 parts. There was a logic part, a part where we had to describe our motivation. So it was orally, and then a written part as well. And there was a behavioral assessment as well. What I particularly appreciated from this process was the fact that they didn't require us to take the TOEFL or the GMAT, which for some students I know it is a significant cost. So we were evaluated according to the school's requirements in their logic requirements, essentially. I found that really interesting because I personally did take the GMAT and did take the TOEFL while applying to other schools, but I genuinely felt like my level of logic and capacity to act out in a situation was significantly better evaluated in this process compared to some other schools where I only took a GMAT. It was very general. I felt like I couldn't completely express myself. And although there was a cover letter attached, I felt like with this process, we really got to show our skills, and it felt more targeted as well because we knew what the school was looking for. And to me, it showed what they were expecting from me and what their values were.
You want people who know why they're in the program, who knows what they're going to do. You don't want people that just want another master, or that doesn't want only to have a little mention on their profile.
Absolutely. So I like to insist on, well, as Anna said, we have a number of formal processes to assess that. The CVs as well, of course, the recommendation letters. We also have video questions, 3 of them in the case of our program. And I like to insist that for us, the professors who evaluate the applications, that's also a key way to assess the fluency in English. So I didn't mention that, but that's non-negotiable. We do not admit students who are not fluent enough in English, because that would compromise their working groups with the rest of the cohort. So you have to be fluent in English. And second, the videos help us gauge the motivation of the students, and it's very easy for us to differentiate students who are genuinely motivated and engaged versus students who, as you say, are just trying to find a master's degree to tick a box, basically.
Maybe Sava, what would be your advice for the people following us today and wanting to join the program? Sava, what would you recommend them to do in the application process?
First of all, as Mr. Clément said, they have to be quite sure on what they want to do. This is another program where you can join and hope to see how it goes. If you are really interested in digital marketing as well as the data science, then this is exactly the program for you. But as again, Mr. Clément said, if you want to just add something else on your CV to show that, oh yeah, okay, I've done this master, then yeah, you, one, are not going to get accepted to this program, and 2, you're not going to enjoy what you are doing. So basically, in general, what I can say is they have to be keen, they have to be interested in digital marketing, they have to be hardworking people, and they have to be open on working with groups. If they are, if they can't work in group projects, I don't think that this is a great program for them.
Question regarding the admission process, don't hesitate to ask them on the chat section. We're not going to talk about the student life. Maybe I'm beginning with you, Anna. Can you describe how it is to be a student at emlyon Business School on the Parisian campus, located, I think, near Gare de Lyon?
Yeah, that's right. So we're really lucky to be more or less in the center of Paris. So that's really, really nice. Whenever we want to go out or do activities, it's really easy to get anywhere and to do anything that we want just because everything is so close. So that's really, really nice. And honestly, I think it'd be hard to find a single student who's upset with their student life at emlyon, because although we do have a significant workload, I think we do have periods where we can really take a little bit of a breather and enjoy getting to know people. And what I personally enjoyed the most is the fact that we do have an extremely international cohort. And I think we all learn a lot from it. So we've had picnics, we've had a lot of things where we can kind of all bring ideas or bring food or bring culture from other backgrounds. So like now it's the Chinese New Year, and a lot of the students that are not Chinese are also getting together to celebrate it, because we're learning to celebrate different cultures. And to me, like, that's extremely valuable.
And regarding the accommodation, was it easy for you to find an accommodation in Paris?
So that is the one point that I would really stress on. If you do plan on coming to Paris, please look for your accommodation early on, because it is a little bit difficult to find. So I've been in France for 6 years. So the fact that I do speak French definitely helped. But a lot of the non-French speaking students were still able to get accommodation through student housing. There are really a number of options that you can look into. But if you could get help from a French person in case you're looking for shared housing, that would really help. But definitely start looking into it as soon as you have your admission. So if you're coming to look into September, June is the latest you should be looking for accommodation.
As we just say, Clément, in the program there is a huge multiculturality with a lot of people with different nationalities, and you are in a multicultural state, city, Paris. The idea is that after this 18 months of program, they can work in all over the world.
Yeah, we try to be helpful to the variety of the students who join us. We don't have systematic surveys about the intent after graduation, but what we can observe is that a majority of them is looking for an employment in an international company located in France or Europe. You have a sizable minority of students who want to immediately go back to their home country, but I would say that most of them are looking even like straight in Ile-de-France or Paris. So it definitely helps them to be in a group where everybody has different networks, experiences. But it's pretty varied in terms of expectations.
Maybe Sava, you can tell us if you had some fear before joining the school, because sometimes we are joining a new school, a new country, a new culture, that can be a little bit frightening. So how was it for you? Did you have some fear before joining the Lyon Business School, and how did you overcome them?
In all fairness, I don't think that I am the best candidate to ask this question to, because even before coming to France, I've already studied in France 3 years prior to my studies in UK. So I knew the culture, and actually French is my second language thanks to my high school. So I didn't have any problem adjusting to the culture, and I'm quite used to it. But when it comes to the courses, I was quite afraid of the coding part, especially after reading what digital marketing and data science offers in terms of data science part. There was Excel, SQL, Python, HTML, JavaScript, etc. I was quite afraid of those parts, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to do it. However, with the lecturers, and especially what emlyon propose us, which is a premium account in DataCamp, it quite helped me to improve myself, to understand the lectures better, and to overcome my fears, basically.
We're not going to talk about the professional world, because the idea with MSc is to find a job, or at least to find opportunities after graduating. First of all, Clément, how do you work for the internship? Is it possible to do internship during the program? And how do you help students to find an internship if they have to do one?
Sure, they do have to do one. So the master's degree is governed by the regulations of Conférence des Grandes Écoles, which gathers the top schools in engineering and business schools in France. And according to these regulations, the students of the master's degree have to complete a 4 to 6 months internship after their, as the last part of their studies. They can also find a job directly, temp job or permanent job, and find a VIE, VIE, and or a local contract if it's not in France. So just to insist that internships is the most common option, but you have other options as well. So how does it work? Pretty easily, actually. I'm not saying it's not stressful to the students. I'm looking at Anna and Sava because they know the drill. It's finding an internship is always stressing. You always want to find one as soon as possible to secure it. But with Insight, because I manage this program for several years now, I must say that, again, we are a unique program in terms of positioning. We're a unique program in Europe and maybe beyond that trains our students in digital marketing and hands-on data analytics and data science. The result of that is that when you want to find an internship, the companies are just jumping on you because, again, from the press, from the headlines, especially in these COVID or post-COVID times, the digitalization of the companies that need to have an online presence to survive means that the job market for our students is extremely favorable. So it doesn't, they still have to look for an internship and be very, very serious about it. But they do find internships easily, all the more that, maybe that was a follow-up question, but all the more that we have career services to train them, to coach them, to guide them for their CVs, their LinkedIn profile, and I could continue if you have a question on that, because that's a big part of what we provide as well.
But maybe what is really interesting and what the people following us today have to understand is that you form people that can totally understand all the question marketing, how to conduct a different campaign, etc., etc. But the difference with all other people working in marketing is that they can analyze all the results and they can understand because nowadays when you conduct a marketing campaign, it will be on 1,000 or 100,000 people, but it's not only numbers for them. It's a really key to analyze how to work and how to conduct the marketing.
Absolutely. So our students, when they join a marketing team, they don't have to give a call to the IT person or the business analyst asking for a query to be made to retrieve the data set that they're going to analyze. They can do it by themselves. And it's not because they are wizards, it's because these are the new expectations from the companies. The companies, many of them joining being digital natives, data is part of their culture, and they expect now that the marketing department will behave the same with the same data literacy. The problem for these companies is that not many programs do provide this almost this double degree, I would say, where you have this business acumen, all while being agile at these things from SQL and databases and Tableau and the rest. So again, our students can be are in very good conditions when they look for an internship. Again, they still have to do their studies very seriously and then do this job search seriously, but the conditions are pretty favorable.
Anna, how did it work for you? You're looking for an internship. Do you have some interviews? How do you look for it? Do you already have offers? How is it for you?
So if I can only say one thing about this job search is LinkedIn. Just be extremely active on LinkedIn and you will really make the best out of this program. So we're still in January and I know a couple of my peers already have their internships. I have been fortunate to not have applied for a single internship yet, and yet I'm in 4 interview processes. So really, I've just had recruiters reaching out not only for internships, but also for full-time positions, because I am active on LinkedIn and because the emlyon number 2 in employability in France, I honestly did not expect it to be as important as it is proving to be right now. So I know I'm also not an exception in this area. I know a number of students have been receiving internship offers for July, even though we're still in January, and usually the internship search, it generally starts around March, April. And a number of us are already being contacted by recruiters and headhunters. So I think we're in an extremely fortunate position.
Is it the same feedback from your side? Sava, yes, how was that for you?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear that. There was a problem with the connection. Yeah, I totally agree with Anna. And the LinkedIn is one of the most important tools for us to find an internship. For example, we had this career forum in ABREU campus a couple of weeks ago, which digital marketing and data science drove us to. I wasn't expecting to find any internships, but I was planning on starting or making connections through LinkedIn, which I managed to do. I added people from Ubisoft, L'Oreal, Volvo, ABREU, and I got to talk to different people about different positions. So yeah, in overall, LinkedIn is quite important in terms of finding an internship.
Tools than LinkedIn, thanks. You just talk about that to the career services. You already told us a few words about it, but what can we concretely have in the career services when we are a student at emlyon?
So I don't know to what extent it's really original. I didn't benchmark with other business schools, but it's pretty outstanding. It provides the students with everything they need to be in good shape for their job search. Because even if you have, well, that's a classic, but if you have an excellent content, it's not enough. It has to be really neatly packaged and easy to read by the recruiters. So the students are well, they have group sessions and individual coaching sessions on all the aspects of the job search. Maybe Anna and Sava could be more specific on that. I don't attend these sessions myself. We have a dedicated service for it. And we have, so that's kind of that's in their schedules in the first and second and third semester. But on top of that, they have events organized by the school at large. So the Career Forum is the biggest event that was organized earlier this month with dozens of very large companies meeting the students. We have also what we call vocation days that are focused on this or that industry. And on top of that, we have the events organized by the master's degree ourselves. So what we do is many things, but the one I'm going to mention and that I like the most is the DMDS, so the acronym for our master's degree, Digital Marketing and Data Science. DMDS Alumni Coffee. Because we are a young program, we are 4 years young, I think. But we do have alumni already, of course. So we invite alumni, our wonderful alumni, to go and share their testimony about how did they find an internship and how they moved on to their jobs in an informal chats with our students. So it feels good to see, where can you go after the master's degree, and it's really helpful for the students in terms of projecting themselves, right? Because it's all good to be, again, all our candidates or participants, they have a rich life before joining the master's degree. We select them on their amazing profiles. And then they learn digital marketing, and then they learn data science. So it might be a bit hard for them to, how to tell this narrative to a recruiter. And our alumni help them, show them the way, like this is how I manage this complexity, this wealth of experience. That's how I I got the job I wanted. So we have that
personal branding, like how to tell and to tell the little story behind
which storytelling is effective, and so we have that, and it feels good because it's like peer to peer. Right.
And what are the different job opportunities for the students after the program? What can they do? A lot of things.
Yes. So I mentioned that everything that is marketing and data analytics related are the biggest match in a variety of industry, from the most traditional, so to speak, to the latest economy. But maybe I like to insist on the fact that yes, you also can become a data scientist or a data engineer with this master's degree. It all depends on your personal trajectory. So we don't close doors or at all. It depends on the opportunities you go for, and we do have a couple of students, including one I'm thinking of now, who comes from hospitality. So he was working in hotels, in the management of hotels, and he has become a data scientist in one of the big international automotive group. So anyway, if we have these candidates and these participants following these trajectories, we support them. We are giving them feedback about their opportunities and providing as much advice as we can.
And for the salaries, we imagine that in this field it's pretty good.
Yes, it's always a tricky issue because but I like to give figures again, because we are pretty confident about them. But I would say we are in line with the general salaries that graduates of emlyon enjoy. So around 45K annual salary, and I think that it's now a minimum, I would say. It depends on personal circumstances.
Will you work in which kind of companies, in which country? But
small or big size? Is it a startup, etc., etc.? Is it a senior role, given your past experience or not? But the job market today is so tense, given the shortage of analytical skills, that my message to the graduates or the near graduates is to say that they can really have salary expectations that are upward of what was the case a couple of years ago.
And to conclude, Clément, what would be your advice for the students watching us today who plan to come to France to study at emlyon? What would you like to tell them? You can watch your little camera to address directly to the audience we have today.
Well, I can't wait to review your applications, because if you do apply to this master's degree, it's because you have a strong motivation. You know that you want to make a big jump in your training and in your professional perspectives. We do appreciate that. So please don't censor yourself thinking that you might not be a good fit, or that you are lacking this or that aspect of this or that diploma. What counts is, again, your maturity and the fact that you had a bunch of life experiences, professional, academic, personal, that you can share and bring to your application. If you do that, we're going to be very much interested in your application, and then we're going to help you make this wonderful transition and become marketing technologists. That's our promise.
Thanks a lot, Clément, Sava, and Hannah, for having been with us today and for having present this really interesting program, MSc in Digital Marketing and Data Science at emlyon Business School. And I will remember what Hannah said about LinkedIn and about all the opportunities she can have without applying. That's really interesting, and I think that it has made think a lot the viewers today to know that you can have such opportunities with this program. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions, don't hesitate to ask them directly on the chat section. The school is here to answer all of your questions, and don't hesitate to visit the website of emlyon Business School. See you soon on Campus France Live.